Hey, what's up everybody? John Highley here with the Tactical Dent Tech. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tool review today, and we're specifically going to be talking about the Black Magic PDR tips that I've actually had the opportunity to get my hands on. I have not used them as much as I've wanted to, but what I can tell you, the little that I have used them, they have been incredible, very durable. And I'm just going to kind of go through some of the things that as I pull this package, which is essentially a universal set of all different kinds, almost a variety of a little bit of everything. And as I pull these out and begin to use them, some of the things that I notice is that the fits are incredibly tight. In fact, it took me a little while to get this one tip on the end of the whale tail. But the truth of the matter is you do not want a loose fit. So it's definitely worth the effort. I took a little door tool and I kind of worked my way around, almost a little R&I door tool, and worked my way around the edges and got this on the end of my whale tail. Very nice, very tight. And one of the things that I will do is actually take a little bit of gaffer's tape and make sure so I never lose one down a panel, and do a little wrap at the base just to tighten it up and keep it on there nice and snug, exactly the way that I want it. Now, one of the cool things as well that is offered by Black Magic PDR tools is they've also got tips that fit some of the traditional tips that we've been used to using throughout the years. So this right here is the OG. One of my favorite tips to use is the OG VIP metal tip. This thing is incredible for aluminum. I just got done working on a absolutely destroyed aluminum hood, and to be honest with you, there was nothing that drove down the metal like this tip. Now, one of the cool things about it is that you can actually get one of Ted's tips and put this on top of the VIP, and this will give you a very soft hit. Really nice for nice little tight, thin crowns. He also has one that's more like a square. That's for thicker crowns to lay them down so you can easily put these tips, and they're very strong. I mean, I haven't seen any wear or tear on this tip since I've been using it, so it has held up very well. And that's one of the things that I noticed about the plastic that they're using here at Black Magic PDR tools is that it's rigid, but it's not too rigid, if that makes sense. So it's nice and hard, but it's pliable and soft at the same time. A lot of times you find where something will be too soft, like the traditional soft tip. You'll be pushing with it. It's very, very soft. And by the time you push too hard, or you've just pushed, there's a little high spot through it because you burnt a hole through the actual tip. These right here also have almost like kind of like a grit feel on the outside of them. One of the things that I worried about plastic caps is just the slip factor, right? You never want to be pushing and slipping off a dent. Well, these are very gritty and, again, soft enough to actually kind of hold that push for you. So there's all different kinds here. I mean, you've got bigger round tips for bullet tips, bigger tools. I've got all kinds of bags, little bags here. You've even got the ones that he made for the whale tails where you can kind of sneak in holes. So he's got them fitted for that type of whale tail. Even the giant whale tail, the big whale tail, when you get back in there, I've actually got it back here on my cart. But when you get back in there and there's no leverage, there's no room, a big old cavity opens up inside of a hood or anywhere else on the vehicle for that matter, these big fat daddy tips are awesome when you've got to drive up the metal without leaving a bunch of little push marks. So what you're really getting here is the ability to use things like this door tool right here, where you can really drive up the metal. And this is a very snug fit right here. Again, I would wrap a little bit of gaffer's tape down here at the bottom. I find for me, maybe you guys can tell me in the comments if you found a better tape to kind of hold it on there. But a roll of gaffer's tape will go a long way. I wrap it around the bottom, tighten it up. Kind of looks like this. This is a little thin wire tool that I have here. I wrapped a little gaffer's tape around it. And now you actually have the ability to drive up a body line using your sharper tip tools with these tips, or drive up a dent without getting any of the push marks that you may get if you just try to go in there with raw steel. And as many of you guys know, this speeds up the repair process, because if you can move a ton of metal at one time and leave very little collateral damage, you're in really good shape to quickly finish that dent fast. So I can tell you that I have not seen any tips that have been built out, or so many different sizes, that have the ability to just retrofit on any tool. I got to say, these are a big win. And many of you guys know Ted out there from Blackmagic PDR tips. I mean, you've seen these everywhere. There's a lot of guys using them. A lot of people like them. I just wanted to go ahead and put my 2 cents on it, because from afar, it makes you think, well, what's the plastic made out of? What does it feel like? I'm just telling you guys, this is a different feel than what I've felt before on anything. I mean, it's not soft like a soft tip, but it's honestly, it's nice. It's like a pliable, but it's rigid at the same time. So I think he really hit the nail with the head of the hammer when it comes to the material that was used on these. And also, again, just to say, the fits are tight and snug. And at first you might say, well, it kind of sucks to get one on there. You get used to it, and once these get broke in, they'll go on much faster. But I'm telling you guys, I used a little sharp pick tool, one that you use for R&I, and just worked it around. And after I figured that out, because of course, I spent a few minutes just trying to muscle it on there. But what you've really got to do is you just got to go around it with a little pick tool and R&I, but you're going to want that tight fit anyway. So it's definitely worth the time, because now I've got a whale tail that I can put up into the front of a hood or wherever I want to put it, and I can actually take a few pushes instead of 20 little pushes, and it's going to move that metal much faster. So again, the setup time, like a lot of tools that have that setup time, but they make things go faster in the long run. That's exactly what you're going to find with these tips. It's a little bit of setup, a little bit of thought, but at the end of the day, it's actually going to go faster because you prepared yourself for success to begin with. So anyhow, y'all, I have a .com on here somewhere. I believe that you could probably just Google or look up Ted. I'll tag him in the video inside of the Facebook group, and I'll also put the link on our YouTube channel down below here in the description. But it is Blackmagic PDR Tips is the name of the company, and that's all Ted specializes in. There's a ton of things there. I recommend, if you can, get yourself a nice little variety pack. And I think he sells this entire variety pack on here, where you can actually just buy a variety pack. And it's kind of like having the tools there for when you need them. There's going to be some of these you're not going to need, you're not going to use, but when you actually do need them, you're going to be very thankful that you stocked up your arsenal and you got a hold of these Blackmagic PDR tips. So anyhow, y'all, thank you for coming along on this tactical tool review. And as usual, I'll see you on the next one.